Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show, Really On Set, the first long show of this form, where we're just gonna try to put words on some questions that come across my way. So, one of those questions was, why do I feel like a passenger in my own life? Capture this. You have the money, you have the car, you have no driver license, but you do have the car, you do have the money. So you get yourself a driver. And that driver is driving your car, bought from your money. And that's technically the feeling that some have in this particular way, that person who asked the question. And I guess if we let that sink for a moment, it makes somewhat sense how many different experiences in our everyday life feels like that. Perhaps some of you need more concrete than just that, right? It's too creative. Why not? So, capture this. You do have a job. You get paid very well. You have a great title. But the thing is, you just don't take the decision. Someone else is for you. And you better follow these decisions. Because if you don't, we all know what happens. Bam. Yes, I know. I can really relate to that experience and that feeling. So, for some thinking with the analogy of the car, I guess it makes sense. For some thinking with the analogy of a job, it makes also sense. And if there is still someone who it did not make sense, please let me know. Because then I can come up with another one. Hopefully, I guess. But let's try to put words on what is going on when one feels like that. You do have a strong sentiment that you're not the one driving in your everyday life or a particular situation. And instead of actually changing that or addressing that or doing whatever it takes head on, usually you close down, right? You're not sure how to express, how to address it, what will happen if you do. Is there a consequence or not? Because being on the passenger seat means also you're not responsible. Someone else is. And that's very comfortable. But is that comfort feeding somewhat our strong interest in having something to say or having a say at all at the table? And the thing is that to have a say on the table usually comes with a certain precondition that it needs competence, it needs understanding, it needs certain knowledge, perhaps just luck, whatever one wants to find as an understanding. And that's really not easy, right? Because having competence means also someone is going to follow you, listen to you. which means you're a model, a role model. But if you're not a great role model, you feel guilty. If you are, that's great. Good for you. And it goes on and it goes on, right? In different form of imagination that I could come up with to try to showcase what is going on actually internally. Simplified, obviously. And how to deal with that? Well, I'm not certain to have a how to. Because, first of all, it all depends on where we stand in our lives, how we experience life overall. Where do we come from? What are our attributions, our hope and fears? And are we in such liberation that it doesn't matter? Or are we not? And things do matter. Depending on that, the outcome is always different for each of us. Now, if we would only measure that everyone is just free and the world is sane, then the outcome is quite simple. It's going to be always great. It's not like we have any way tried, so we don't know if it's great. I mean, the world is not safe. That we know. And the other things, well, I'm sure every one of us has a personal experience that might acknowledge that. So, if someone is really about to say, I don't want to be a passenger, that's fair. I want to own that driving seat. I want to drive that life. It comes with the consequences. Now, these consequences, though, pardon, do not necessarily need to be in any way a bad, negative, or absolutely horrible experience. It can be actually very great, very helpful, very supportive, very revealing. But the consequence part does not go away. There is consequences. Might it be discipline? Might it be standing up? Might it be speaking up? And these are all traits that not always are very well welcomed and that usually get quite a hard time before they get an ear and are listened to. And to endure that takes just either strength, absolute freedom, liberation, or, as they say in French, a bit of a rien à foutre. I've seen these all working out in some extent for some different individuals. So there is not really a right or a wrong to that, depending on where each of us is in life and with what baggage we come or not. The second question: how to deal with my needs? That's a beautiful one. I'm not going to try to boil down what needs are. That might actually exaggerate certain imaginations. But I'll try again a simple analogy, right? I need an apple. I'm gonna go and get this apple. Now I can go and get it from the farmer's tree, which is not mine. Or I can go to the shop and buy one, which through a fair trade is mine. And I hope you got this analogy. And yet I will still try to be more concrete, even though this is one of the hardest things to do sometimes because you don't know who is listening to you. You don't have, how I say, the physical response, right? So, somewhat, I'm acting from a very blinding seat. At least when it comes to those who listen to this podcast and to the show. But I do consider from things that I'm pretty aware they have never been different than what they were and how they are. And that somewhat has a beautiful constant or consistency that never changes. And that's super fascinating once one understands that because it liberates you in such a beautiful way. And there is a light-hearted motion that happens with however you encounter world, life, people, moments, situations, for the better or for the worse. So another analogy would be more concrete than the apple from the farm or from the shop, which positions one either doing it in a fair way or an unfair way, one that is solicited, one that is unsolicited. And in this very obvious example, one does not have a consequence to feed the needs, the other one might. And if you're unlucky and it's, let's say, a Germanic oriented farmer, good luck. um, so usually I would say run, just in case. But see, there are also needs that are mutual, even though they might be unsolicited in some way. That's a very strange situation, but that happens. And then analogy to that is something we all experience in some way. You did not say what you need. I did not say what I need. And we did not really use words for it, but we did it in an environment that at least was coherent to each of us. And it still all makes sense and is harmonious and intuitive, just flow. That's not a very almost concrete example without adding the subtle things to it. And therefore, the next one would be you're surrounded by people and still feel alone. Why? I really relate to this. I almost feel constantly alone. Not for me or moo or ma or whatever the saying is. Sorry, I'm not very educated on that. But, or these kind of sayings. But see, it's very rare if one is very honest with oneself that you really find in today's environment, today's society, today's way of thinking, let's call it thinking and let it still be thinking, even though I have a hard time to agree with there is a thinking at all taking place, right? But that's for perhaps another show, one that is not public. But see, how can you relate with so much nonsense, with so much noise, with so much loud and superficial appearances and situations? It's thrown at you unsolicited, like you never ask for it. Now, some ask for it, well, then, eh. But those who don't, and there are fairly a lot that do not ask for that, but they fall for it through some or the other way, and for some or the other reason. And with that, you find yourself in a situation where you don't want to be there, but you have to, right? You have to because there will be a consequence if not. At least that's what one could think. Most of the time, there is one beautiful golden rule. If you haven't been there, usually no one noticed. If you haven't done anything, even though you should, usually it gets done by itself. Someone will take over that role and do it for you. That's really a very sacred, how you say, toolbox you can just use and throw it wherever you like. I'm gonna feel alone there. I don't want to join. So I better be alone and enjoy whatever my needs are and take over the driver's seat. Can you follow? That's it. I know it sounds too simplistic, perhaps, but that's really how easy it can be looking at all of that. Um, Perhaps a person meant also that you want to be seen, right? As well, acknowledged, or at least have a sense of belonging. Because you're in a room or at a place with many people and a lot is going on. But perhaps you don't really have that need. You just are used that this is how it goes. If that's the case, then you come straight right away to the answer what it is. And you do it on your own. You don't need me for that or anyone. So the last one, actually, my writing is so bad, it's not the last one. It's not my strength. I write like a doctor. Only I can read it. So the question was I hear all the time, you can talk to me. But instead, I go silent because I don't trust it. And that's very fair. I might have perhaps, and this is really without exaggeration, I've spoken to more than 300,000 people in my life. At least. At least. For so many different reasons how my life went. But I have perhaps 10 people I would trust to answer that question. So the answer to this is actually very simple, I'm afraid. It's you're right. There aren't many you can trust on this. Because if you entrust them with how you actually feel and you find the words to express it, you really have to be super sure that it's never going to be used against you in some kind of unknown and worst, unwanted and unsolicited way. And that's a difficult one. That's really a difficult one. Now, you can be very open and just give it all away. I've been there, done that. I've paid such a high price. Such a high price. And yet everything somewhat fluently flowed and came without big accident at the end of the tunnel. But what it showed me is why would you have to go through that tunnel anyway? I prefer to sit here, have a beautiful lake view, the sun, go and have a swim, enjoy the sauna, write some beautiful notes, and observe what truly inspires me, comes to me. Play around with this thought like you're in a beautiful circus, where you can just be fascinatingly impressed by little things that go on, almost like magic, right? Observing your thoughts, you're like here, and it comes, and you see that's nonsense, and you see that that's actually great. I might materialize that. That has something. So you pick it and you throw it on the paper, or you do something with it. You paint it. You whatever is your way of expression, and gives you that goosebumps that just happened, right? I mean, life is too short not to have them. Such a slushy quote, but yeah, life is too short. In my opinion, personally, it's absolutely too short. It should be longer. Like endless, forever. I would have so much fun. I would know so many things to do. I don't even know if a life could ever come close to my expectation of all that I could do. Knowingly, that's even worse. But coming to the question, that is the last one, at least for that show. Who knows? If none of you is gonna send me a question, we might already be over and the show is over, which would be a pity. I really enjoy this right now. It's very nice to wind down, enjoy the sunset coming, and just talking, and putting words on feelings. So that person is doing everything. Is also very exhausted from doing everything. And still feels like it was not enough, that this person is nowhere. I don't even need an analogy for that. I can just take myself as a guinea pig and a dummy. I do art, and I've had successes here and there. But how do you measure success? And then on the other hand, one day to the other, everything goes silent. And you cannot explain why and how. And you're working hard, you're learning, you're failing, you're expressing, and somewhat someone comes along and is like, why do I don't know about that book or about this note or about this painting? Or so it's like a, you know up and down and up and down. I'm not telling you anything new, so no flowers to me. Not today. um the reason that this feeling comes is that when your expectations are super high, and I'm not saying it's good or it's bad, it's just your expectations are super high. For some strange reason, you have that. And the world is not moving at the same pace like you. And on top of that, you might not have acquired what it takes, or perhaps you did not come along the right path, or perhaps haven't yet combined it all the way it should be, or you're just ahead of your time. Then in this case, it's a market, it's the people around. They need time to catch up with someone who has ambition, who has high expectation. History has shown nothing else than that there is no other proof than that happening. It's always that. It has always been that. And it's fine that it's like this way. Not for the ones who have expectation, because they would enjoy and prefer to move faster. But I must also emphasize that by moving fast, you also fail a lot. in a sense of there is a lot of failure along the way that one does not necessarily has to do or to share. It's quite interesting actually. And I'm not saying to make everything perfect, to start today and it's like you have always just made it. That's anyway what everyone believes about everyone who has success and does everything and anything and is absolutely the star of the world. And anyone who goes that path knows that has never been this way. No one was born that way. Unfortunately, but it's so. So being capable to balance the expectation of where you want to go with anything you give in, with everything you put in, right? And at the same time, being peace with the high expectation, having no time frame. Because, see, to bring it and boil it down to a very simple example, I could say, I'm going to make pasta. Pasta! Who does not like pasta? Huh? And obviously, I'm sure someone does. So that was anything but great what I just said. I love pasta. And on the pasta box, it says 7 minutes. Al dente. Okay? 7 minutes, al dente. So now I put it on, the water is boiling. I put it in, and I'm like, I'm going to put the timer. 7 minutes. Now take a wild guess. Is the pasta al dente? Most probably it's not going to happen in 7 minutes. But why? Not because I don't know how to cook. That's really one of the only reasons perhaps someone comes to my home. Cook. Cook for us. Your spices. And it's like a show. It's an experience. It's love. It's life, right? So much emotions and explosions going on with eating. But see, it depends what tools you use, where you put the water in. How is the water that you just put in? Was it hot? Was it cold? Was it semi? Then at the same time, it's about how is the heat level, okay, of your cooking steak. So all these components, right, are out of your hands, except you bought the best thing where you can cook things on, or you bought the best tools that you can actually use. You see where I'm going. Usually, you have a place, you did not choose it. So you just use what you have. On the other hand, sometimes it's cold water, hot water, depend where you are. Perhaps you even have a hot water where it's like it's already boiling. But the main understanding of all of that is there are so many components that come together that make that hard work or the anything or everything that you're giving, right? Take the time it takes. And if one thing needs that much time and the other thing needs that much time, it adds up. And sometimes, it just like one thing is not in line with the other. So you even miss the turn. So it doesn't matter if there was a scientific research about that brand of pasta with this pasta telling you 7 minutes. It's just not possible because it expects to put this 7 minutes and the scientific expertise, which I'm not saying is wrong or doomed. It's just the equation is mostly always, or the expectation that such things have. And we do it the same way, unfortunately. So I'm not trying to proclaim or attack anyone with that. Is that It is detached from reality, from what happens within reality, that things are actually non-linear, even though we all tell it's linear, and that they're not on the same level. So if you always expect everything is perfect, everything is at the same level, everything is in order, it's linear, yes, then it takes 7 minutes. I'm certainly sure that scientific paper is right. But since I know reality and how to experience it quite real, like witnessing it, like I flow with reality. I love it. It is just the way it is, and people are who they are, and the world functions the way it does. So I'm not looking at the 7 minutes. I would dare to say to that person, trust your inner timing, that intuition, that relationship. Work on that, build with that, feel in love with that, fall in love with that in a way that it's mutual, it's just flow. Okay, perhaps intuition is the access to flow, or perhaps intuition is flow, or it's the other way around. I actually never really cared how it comes along. I just know I can tap on the bottom and I'm in there. And I know that's fantastic, but trust me, that worked so hard and yet so lazy to get there. I know this makes no sense, but I guess that's a beautiful closing. Thank you for having watched the show up to this point, whoever did. And don't forget to serve me the pain or even the joy that you might not be able to name or to put words on it. That's absolutely fine because I like to do that for strange reasons, but I like. Therefore, au revoir and hopefully to another episode. Merci.